This week on Music Worth Buying, we're going to be checking out The Deepest Lake by Dengue Fever.
And directly from my heart via Little Richard.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Music Worth Buying. My name is TJR. I'm a musician and a music writer.
And my name is Robert Kinsler, and I'm a music writer and a musician.
And so we've got some picks for you for this week. And I'm going to start off the show with The Deepest Lake by Dengue Fever. Now, this is actually their fifth album, but it's my first introduction to their music. A little bit of history about this band and a little bit of history about the music that this band does. Back in the late 60s and early 70s, psychedelic rock had its own music scene in Cambodia. And now the Khmer Rouge communist movement put an end to all that. You know, they basically outlawed the music. And this
happened. Killed the instructors, the professors, doctors. I mean, it was a terrible regime.
Horrific, absolutely horrific. Yeah. And this, you know, when they took power back in the around 1975. Now, fast forward into the late 90s, LA musicians Zach and Eric Holtzman began discovering this music and starting to, cover this music. Mm-hmm. And in time, they recruited Cambodian singer Cham Namal. Hopefully, I say that name right. The band is rounded out by David. Hopefully, I say it again. Don't butcher this name. Ralike. I'm sorry if I get it wrong. On saxophone, Paul Smith on bass. And Paul Smith on drums.
Drums, right.
And Senan Williams on bass, excuse me. And anyways, this is their, like I said before, their fifth full-length album of all new material. Mm-hmm. It's their first album as owners of their own record label, Tuk Tuk Records. And so let's just get a feel for this, their take on Cambodian rock, which I'm sure most of us here never even knew existed.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it until I read about this band. And so here's a song called No Sudden Moves.
That's just fantastic. I've also heard this album, mm-hmm. and listening to it again, I haven't listened to it since I think I first reviewed it. I just love it. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's so exotic. It's so otherworldly. I mean, it's like the first time I heard Sigur Rós or something like that. Uh-huh. It doesn't matter that she's not, apparently here she's not singing in English. She must obviously be singing in Cambodian. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to venture a guess there.
Yeah.
But it's terrific. I love her voice. I love the way that they make conventional instruments like bass, guitar, and mm-hmm. drums, the way they make it sound like something different that we haven't heard before.
Yeah.
And like I said, maybe this was standard, music mm-hmm. in Cambodia before the Khmer Rouge took over. But to my ears, it's very fresh and mm-hmm. innovative, and I like the rap in there. I just love everything about it.
I love the part where she starts rapping in Cambodian.
Yeah.
I think I love the whole kind of hippie, 60s, trippy, psychedelic, garage band vibe to the whole album as well. I love that too.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, packaging wise, this comes in a tri-gatefold digipack, and here we go, front and back, mm-hmm. Or I should say exterior and interior. I should say. Excuse me. Now, I love the artwork too. I love the artwork on the cover and on the CD. But one thing I'm puzzled by, we had this album, sent to us, and there is an opening here for what I'm assuming was a booklet, but there was no booklet, so I can't really show it. I'm assuming there was a booklet that came with it. I wish we'd had that.
Yeah, because it probably would shed more light on the album.
Maybe shed a little bit more light, but it did not take away from my enjoyment of just how fun
exactly.
this album is. Even though, I mean, there's some areas where I can tell she's singing in English, other areas where obviously she's not, and it didn't hurt my enjoyment at all because I just was enjoying the entire vibe of the music.
Yeah, it does. It transports you somewhere. It's really cool music.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. So let's check out another track. And this one is called Cardboard Castles. Here we go.
You know, the only thing I would say, I'd pick up exactly where you left off. This is fun. I like the sound. I like the sound of the singer. I like the sound of the band, what they're doing. It just kind of draws you in. You know, like I said, I'd be interested to learn a lot more. You know, and kind of the story behind some of these songs. But I don't think that knowing a lot more than what I've just heard detracts from the listening experience. Like you said, it just transports you to a different time with total authenticity and joy. You know, it's just great.
And I find, as I listen to this album, I realize there's this whole universe of music that I don't know about, this of Cambodian rock that I don't know about, that influenced the making of this.
Yeah.
So I am curious now to know, well, you know, these two LA musicians who discovered this music, started really listening to it and then wanted to play it, and then started creating new material based on that influence. I want to know, what were they listening to now? And there's this whole universe out there that I wasn't even aware existed.
Apparently, and I don't know a lot more about it than I know. Recently I was listening to NPR, and I think that there's a documentary where they've been able to find existing music recordings and some of the musicians that survived from that time. And I'd be very, you bringing this to the show today makes me definitely want to check out that documentary. And maybe actually if I'll try to post something on the Music Worth Buying website about that, and maybe refer back to this episode, and we'll try to, so we can all educate each other and everybody out there that's interested.
As soon as you know, let me know, because I think I'd like to see it too.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Okay. So what have you got for us?
Well, actually, we're going to totally shift gears.
All
Well,
right.
we are going back in time, but I brought in this great new box set featuring Little Richard, and it's called Directly From My Heart: The Best of the Specialty and VJ Years. And basically, what this does is, this is like prime cuts, prime recordings that he did spanning 1956 to 1965. So of course that period's going to include all his big hits, everything, you know, the things that everybody, Tutti Frutti, Kansas City, Ready Teddy, Rip It Up, Long Tall Sally. I mean, these great recordings. And, you know, I saw Little Richard once about 10, maybe 15 years ago, and I think he was kind of like Chuck Berry. He had become somewhat of a parody of who he once was, as far as the guy that was seminal, influenced Paul McCartney, you know,
influenced
Prince and everything. And, you know, I played all 64 tracks on, you know, on 3 discs. I mean, this is a great collection, and it gave me this amazing, you know, respect, appreciation of this great artist. And, you know, I think everybody knows some of his big hits, but let's listen to a little bit of Rip It Up, just to refamiliarize everybody.
Right.
And then we'll listen to something that's a little bit, you know, different.
Okay, you want to start with a hit?
Yeah, let's start with that one up.
Cool.
Rip It Up.
Yeah.
Well, it's Saturday night and I just got paid. Fool about my money, don't try to save. My heart say go, go. Have a time, cause it's Saturday night. Now I'm feeling fine. I'm gonna rock it up. I'm gonna rip it up. I'm gonna shake it out. Gonna ball it up. I'm gonna rock it up and ball tonight.
So I was surprised that you decided to go with a hit, a song that we all know, as opposed to one of the deeper cuts. Because obviously, with a collection this size, you don't just have a hits collection here. You have a lot of deep tracks.
Right, exactly.
So explain that to me.
Well, my thinking is that, you know, a lot of the young people I talk to, even when they're into music, their musical literacy might go back to the Beatles or the early Stones or something, but I find a lot of them don't know, you know, Little Richard. They don't know Buddy Holly. They don't know Bill Haley in the comments and stuff like that. So my thinking here is that, you know, this is a song that we know very well, and a lot of people do, but, you know, you don't hear it a lot on the radio.
True.
You know, at least on terrestrial radio there and stuff.
Yeah.
So thinking there, and the next song that we'll be hearing in a minute or two is a song that
More
isn't,
obscure.
more obscure and isn't as well known. Actually, we'll listen to a little bit of the title track, but this is just a great collection for the person, whether you're a longtime fan of Little Richard, you know, you're discovering him for the first time, but you're going to get, this is the golden age. Comes with 3 full CDs, and like I said, more than 60 tracks, more than 20 tracks on each disc, and so you have 3 standard jewel cases.
These
here.
were short songs. They were like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of them
under 3 minutes.
But then this booklet is just great. I mean, all kinds of archived pictures, information on him. You know, a really well written biography of him and his early years, and kind of what led to these recordings and his success, and and stuff, but just really informative. I mean, you're just going to be able to dig in and learn all about Little Richard and just his career. Just a really nice set, and I can't say, or I can honestly say, I knew a lot about Elvis and knew a lot about Buddy Holly. I didn't know as much about Little Richard. I've gained a newfound appreciation of him and his contributions to music.
He's had a huge influence on a lot of artists. In fact, here's one for you, because we mentioned a few before the break. Here's another musician who claims Little Richard as a huge influence, and he's a big fan. Lemmy.
Wow.
Of Motorhead.
Yeah, who knew?
Recent interview with him I was reading a while back, and where he talked about how much Little Richard's music meant to him.
Yeah.
But anyways, who knew?
Yeah, who knew? And I thought what we do now to play something else very different from Rip It Up is let's listen to the title track from Directly From My Heart.
Sure.
And this is an original song that Little Richard wrote.
Okay, great.
So we'll listen to a little of that one.
And that's the first time I've ever heard that song. I really enjoyed it. And, I've been familiar with a portion of Little Richard's catalog. I've covered a few of his songs in my cover band days. And but I enjoyed that song a lot. It really shows off a lot of the more soulful side of his singing. We're so used to him being so high energy all the time and screaming. Yeah. It's nice to hear him singing on a more laid back ballad. What a great soulful,
and when you listen to this, you go, wow, he's like, Otis Redding or Sam Cooke. What a great soulful singer.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know the screaming rocker, on the piano and stuff, but you get introduced to a different side of him. Even when he was a very young artist setting out, he already had all these talents and everything. Just very... it's a real joy of discovery on this collection.
I would love to hear more of this collection. Yeah. And as you know, I'm a big fan of music from this era. Yeah. And there's still a lot I haven't discovered yet. And so this collection certainly intrigues me a great deal.
Yeah, and I think it's great that it was released. I think it's it's a great celebration of his life while he's still around. So, hopefully he'll get some, additional look at his career and his contributions to music and rock. Yeah. Because they are so important.
I think, for a long time, because there was a period there, maybe 15 years or so ago, where it seemed like that's all he was doing was screaming, "I'm the architect of rock and roll." Screaming that he wasn't getting the attention he deserved. When Prince was huge, "That's me, that's me." And of course, he was being comical. Yeah, he was being that cartoon character that you talked about. But there was a truth in that. I mean, him and all of those seminal artists from that time, Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis, all those artists had a major influence on where we are now.
Yeah, they surely did.
So you do have to look beyond their hits.
Those are the building blocks. Guys like Buddy Holly, Little Richard, Elvis, Eddie Cochran, Gene Vincent, all these guys that, and some of them had such short careers. The ones like Little Richard and Chuck Berry, it's almost like because they've been around so long, you almost maybe take them for granted. Yeah. And I think when you hear something like this, it's like it forces you to focus in on what they did, and you say, "Wow, this is pretty amazing." Even all these years later, more than 50 years later, this is some pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah. Very cool. Thank you for bringing that in.
Yeah, and thanks for bringing in Dengue Fever.
Dengue Fever, yes.
Yeah, just two, I think, worthwhile collections worth seeking out.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and if you have, thank you so much. We appreciate you sharing the show on your social media. Appreciate that very, very much. And we appreciate your comments. Let us know if you've heard either of these picks that we have this week, and give us your opinions as well, and your suggestions on what you think we might review. And until next time, I'm TJR. You can check out my music at tjrmusic.com. Send me an email. I'll send you a link for some free MP3s. And check out my solo reviews here at the channel.
And my name is Robert Kinsler, and you can read more of my work at musicworthbuying.com, at musicnewsnashville.com, ocregister.com, desertstarweekly.com. And elsewhere.
Okay. And anywhere fine music journalism is supported.
Okay, that sounds good. That'll work.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Hey, see you later, everybody.
Bye. This week on Music Worth Buying, we're going to be checking out just a hits collection.
No, it's
this gets
not.
deeper into his catalog. So, why did you go with hit single?
Let's start over again.
Let's do that again.
Let's do that again. Good. Yeah, I see what you're.
And of course, that's the first time I've heard this track. Because I have some familiarity with Little Richard. I've covered a couple of his songs. Let's do that again. My
Okay.
songs.
Yeah.
I've